to you. Welcome to the headline segment. It's still breakfast live on GTV. I am Thelma Taki. Now here is information for you. Ghana works better when we all play our part. And as we said yesterday during my conversation, during the headlines, remember to pay your TV license fee. It's star 447 star 333 hash, star 447 star 333 hash. That's how you pay. Now, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, is reminding all business operators, especially foreign nationals, that Ghana's primary investment law, the GIPC Act 2013, Act 865, strictly reserves the sale of goods and services in the market areas for Ghanaians and Ghanaian-owned enterprises only. Moreover, Section 27(1)(a) of the GIPC Act prohibits foreign nationals from engaging in petty trading, hawking, or selling goods in a stall at any place. The GIPC also urges all businesses with any foreign ownership, no matter how small, to register with the center as mandated by law. The center calls on all stakeholders to comply with these regulations as it collectively works to build a fair and enabling business environment for all. For details on doing business in Ghana, GIPC urges you to visit its website, www.gipc.gov.gh, or call 0302 665125, 0302 665125-9. And you can also follow the center's social media handles at GIPC Ghana on all platforms for regular updates. GIPC says, always remember, Ghana remains open for business. So that's information for you. Now let's see what the front pages of the newspapers are saying are the big stories of the day today. Okay, the Ghanaian Times leads at the banner, government increases cocoa price, reintroduces free fertilizer policy, rolls out scholarship for cocoa farmers wards, and we'll get some more details into this in the next segment of our show, where I sit with officials from Cocoa Board to interrogate this new directive further. 410 million Ghana cedis earmarked for youth programs. Yesterday, we saw George Opariado take his turn at the Government Accountability Series. Pia Fore launched digital platform for agri financing and small-scale mining. Cabinet approves new national program to drive sustainable livelihoods. This is today's edition of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Daily Graphic leading with Mr. George Opariado, Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment. Government activates 2 flagships. Adwumawura apprenticeship programs receive over 230,000 applicants, and you can get details in today's edition of the Graphic. Valley View UCC UEW qualify for TBSC semi-finals. Cocoa prices raised to 51,660 Ghana cedis per ton. GES to dismiss supervisors and vigilators caught in exam malpractice. Today's edition of the Daily Graphic has these and other stories. The Daily Guide banner headline, immigration officers murder, CID retrieves blood-stained fufu pestle. Worrying conversation there on the banner of the Daily Guide. Police recover 43 stolen luxury vehicles. Aguna Stradro SHS, 25 students suspended over same-sex proposal. NDC's Baidu faces NPP's Asumedu in Akwetia by-election. So 2 candidates for the 2 main parties in Parliament have been found. Onada Delumba Otumfor is attributed with this statement. The Daily Guide has these and other stories in today's edition. The Chronicle, Daddy Lumba deserves state burial. His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Baumia, speaking there. Confusion galore at NPP HQ. Acting chair allegedly sidelined. Treasurer reportedly petitions National Executive Council. Landowners sue TDC MD over alleged takeover of land. The Chronicle newspaper has the details in today's edition. The Daily Times, fast-track e-visa now. Mahama orders ministries to act. Eyes tourism, business growth. Mahama's government manipulates cocoa pricing. Farmers lose 6,000 per ton under NDC's false numbers. Nana Moses is writing there in today's Daily Times editorial. Blood on the Kumasi-Accra Road. Time to end the carnage, and cocoa price shoots to $5,040. Muhammad delivers 70% FOB promise. So cocoa conversation still going on there. The business analyst, Bana CID recovers 43 stolen luxury vehicles, Rolls-Royce, Audi Q8, Porsche, BMW and Mercedes-Benz in that lot. Government increases producer price of cocoa to $5,040 per ton. TDC boss sued over alleged land grab. Mahama orders integration of new security and e-gate systems at airports and borders. Government launches tertiary scholarship scheme for children of cocoa farmers. The business analyst has the details. Yep, I believe that will be all the papers we have time to look at. Maltiti and her guests will dive into the big stories for today. Over to you, Titi.
Thank you so much, Thelma, for those big stories. There's a lot happening in the country. I can tell from the side of my guest this morning. My guests, respectfully this morning, always bringing you the expert analysis that you want, are Professor Daniel Bruce. Prof, I've changed your professorship to Mr.
No problem.
Forgive me. Yeah. Professor Daniel Bruce. He's a clinical psychologist. Prof, good morning. Welcome back to the table.
You. How are you?
I'm well, Prof. Mr. John Kuuku, forensic psychiatry specialist. Mr. Jani, good morning.
Hello,
welcome back to the table.
Good morning, Maltiti.
I heard your side, and I heard Prof's own as well. There's a lot happening in the corridors of Ghana and in Ghana itself. I want us to begin with what's on your mind. I'm sure there are some developmental conversations that you're part of or that you've seen that has caught your eye, and you want to make an opinion. Mr. Jani.
Okay. I want to say hello to everybody and also to congratulate you on your 90th birthday. You've done very well over time. Continue to do so. And you have our support, absolutely. I wanted to politely remind businessmen, AGI, and other persons in the business that the trade fair that is going on in Algeria is going to happen. So for African continental trade, it is important that we get involved in these activities.
Right.
I would even be very happy if the government takes hold of this and sends people to the trade fair between the 4th and the 10th. The media, the accreditation is going on now.
Right.
So you probably need to talk to your bosses to see how they can get you there so that we can see it in our bedrooms and in our sitting rooms as to what is going on. That might excite us in this whole change in Africa. And I think what will happen is that if we get involved in it, you are more likely, if you visit there, to meet a partner who will give you his card. This complimentary card might lie on your desk for a year or two. You might not know that it might be of importance to you. But at a certain point, you might realize that the contact that you made in Nigeria becomes the smoking gun that makes your business a big one. So please, if you are into business and you want to work in Africa and make Africa work, this is the way to go. The second thing I want to do is to highlight a sports program that will happen at Legon Sports Center.
Okay.
And I think the person who will be gracing the occasion is the Chief of Staff.
Right.
The guys at Odidodio, Chowe and his drumming group have agreed to go and support him and beat the drums there for him. And I'll be there too to support them.
Absolutely.
Later on, I think we'll talk about cocoa processing.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Prof, please.
Yeah. Yes, what's on my mind this morning is to really express my appreciation to the president of Ghana and his team. You see, I like people who are very proactive and progressive. They want to find solutions to our problems. All that is happening, I've been asking myself, so is that the governing style that should have been rolled out to Ghanaians? But we have never seen it for some time now. So I want to appeal to him that he should continue that way. The way I struggle to become who I am today, we should not allow people to go through the same thing. We must facilitate the growth and development of people. If there are obstacles, let's remove it. To that effect, I would like to show my appreciation to the President and especially Minister of Agri for the hike in jump of the cocoa price. It will do something in the life of our cocoa farmers. And they say free spraying, free insecticides, free fertilizer, and scholarship. But what I heard from some people it's like it's a misnomer. I mean, it's not good. You see, we Ghanaians, when we are making progress, others are saying, go back. It is not good. So let's learn to appreciate good things that are done. It will motivate and encourage whoever is initiating those programs, rather than to be discouraging. Oh, what's fertilizer? All this, it will encourage smuggling. No, why are we saying all these things? So it means we want to be smuggling cocoa to other countries and deprive Ghana. Meanwhile, we are crying for development. So people who are saying that free fertilizer is nothing, the price is not sufficient, look, they can give you the whole amount and say, okay, now you use that amount, go and buy your own fertilizer. Go and buy your own insecticide. I mean, you come back to square zero. So let's appreciate the government and pray that next year, another increment will come. So they should not listen to people who discourage them. They should move on. Okay,
they should move on.
Once on the cocoa matter, can I make a comment on the cocoa?
Okay, go ahead.
Right. I think it's an excellent thing that the Minister of Finance and, of course, the President has agreed to do, free fertilizers and cocoa sacks and all that. The worry I have is that Ivory Coast, our next door neighbors, are not even sending raw beans out anymore. They are processing it. And therefore, what you see is that a lot of quantity of cocoa, raw beans to be going, it will be qualitative, and they'll quantify it in terms of money. It will attract other smugglers, whether we like it or not, smugglers, to send more beans there because they might probably be getting a better price for it.
Right.
That is my worry. And I'm saying that the presidential initiatives at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, wherever it is, should make sure that this cocoa processing plant is quickly implemented, and the cashew. It's so important because if you don't do it, all of this will go to waste. It will be porous.
Cashew is a
Our
huge
borders are porous. The cashew that Ivory Coast don't send cashew out to India anymore. They process it in Ivory Coast. Cocoa, they process it there. The Chinese did it for them for $3 billion. They employ 500 people, and it is creating more wealth for the country. You know, and this is what we need to do for our cocoa sector, that to complement the gold. In about 5 years' time, we do not need to go to the IMF every time we say, Jack.
Why does it seem like we cannot do, have them come set up the plans? Is it the money?
It is programs like this that to push the agenda, because sometimes you'll be surprised somebody who is supposed to be doing something is looking at it and is going through, but the energy and the robustness and the boldness to talk about it is not there. I want to appeal to the president. This was part of the manifesto, the cashew and the cocoa. Please, let's quickly try and get a processing plant for it.
Okay.
I'm sure we can get some $1 billion from somewhere to do. We will get the money back eventually.
Right.
We'll get the money back.
We'll get back the investment.
Please.
Absolutely. I will still come back so that we can explore the cocoa much better. But I want us to go to Ghana Education Service and WAEC, which is saying that about 461,640 candidates are ready to take on the WASI exams. And the Acting Director General of Ghana Education Service, Professor Ernest Davies, confirmed that preparations for the 2025 West African Senior High School examination are complete. And he did say that the candidates are expected to participate. It has increased over the 2024 figure by 0.2%. He outlined targeted interventions to ensure that students in conflict-prone areas are adequately supported. Let's listen to him.
The 2025 WAS examination commences tomorrow, 5th August 2025, with practical examinations. The written papers will begin from 20th August 2025 and end on 19 September 2025. I wish to warn invigilators and supervisors who engage in exams malpractice that they should not do it. We know the effect of examination malpractice on the integrity of the certificate and the education system as a whole. The student will have a security presence, will have some security escorts. So we are working collaboratively with the security to ensure that we have incident-free examination.
And that's a press conference by Ghana Education Service, the Acting Director General of GES, Professor Ernest Davis, speaking there. Let's go to the phone and speak to Mr. John Kapi, his PRO of WAEC, and understand that we're trying to get Mr. Kapi on the phone so that we can explore the very essential information. Prof. Bruce, you know that some of the students are in conflict-prone areas like Boko and now Nalerugu. It was said that special centers, be designated.
Yes, that's a good attempt. We call them special student population because of what they are going through. That is one effect of conflict. You cannot write the examination in a comfortable zone. That one alone, we don't know how much they have prepared because of the conflict. They are always jittery, anxious, and afraid what is going to happen next. So in addition to that, they might not have studied very well. However, it's a good attempt that specialized centers have been created for them to go and write their exam. So let's appeal to everybody that these are the future of Ghana, these students. If there's a conflict, they may not have the peace of mind to study. We'll be depriving ourselves of many human resource capital from those areas. You see, those areas must live to be proud and say, look, this boy is from this area and he's so and so and so and so. I think the Mama Yarida is a role model to a lot of people there. They would like to become like him. But how did he become who he is today? It's because of the peace environment that surrounded him and all the supporting structure. If he had gone to school and there's always conflict, people are shooting guns, people are riding away. I don't think you have had the time to concentrate and learn and become who he is today. Other than that, we want all people to migrate to wherever in Ghana to have their peace. Any new area you go, you have to adjust to the place. How do you start? And how do you become finally socialized in that environment to begin to accept yourself in doing so many things in order to live? So please, we wish those candidates very well, but we are still appealing to our brothers and sisters in that enclave that let the guns rest, let the castles go under, and whatever will injure a human being, let them rest so that our students can write in peace.
Absolutely. Mr. Johnny, there's a 0.2% increment in even the students have registered for WASI. Are you impressed?
Yes. Education is it. If you're educated, you're able to make informed decisions. Eventually, you'll be able to make a pathway that will make your life a better one in making proper decisions. And let me congratulate them. That at that age can be very, very stressful. The migration of, and I'm sure Prof will agree with me, from adolescent age to adulthood can be very conflicting. One day he sees himself as an adult and you shouldn't talk to him like the way you're talking to him. And then one day he says, I'm only a small boy, you should give me money to go to buy food. They have all these issues with their parents.
Absolutely.
And now the game is open to them. They will end up going to university. They are now going to be responsible people, eventually coming to city and talk like we're talking and run the country. So we expect responsibility from them, doing the right things. Alcoholism, drug taking, bad behavior, bad company. If your friend is taking drugs and he thinks you should be part of it, tell him, no, you are not part of this game. You understand? Because you only have to try it once. And by the time you realize you are addicted to it, it has messed up the whole of your life. That age is a very dangerous age. So parents too must be supportive. You must be very, very observant in how the sort of characters that your wards associate with. You can only use your eyes to see that the person that your ward is moving with is not correct. Tell him this guy cannot be your friend. He'll drift you towards the wrong areas. So parents must be able to talk to them, and if they do talk to them, they'll be able to understand what their psychology is, what they are thinking, and to help them make decisions on jobs, what do you think they're going to do in the future. Be more scientific in your thinking. What subjects are you going to do? How are you going to go about it? Are you going to start doing it now by going to the laptops and try to learn something before you get to the university level? Mm-hmm. And the choice you make now is going to determine what you're going to be the next 4 or 5 years, right, when you get married and all that. And there'll be more responsibilities, having children, and paying school fees, again, like we pay school fees for you. So parents, please, parenting is not easy. It's a very difficult job. If you don't look after them, they'll end up going the wrong way. So if you want them to do well, support them, advise and counsel. That's what I'll say.
Okay, we're trying to get GES on the phone, want to understand, even moving to the designated centers from home and their conflict-prone communities, how the security will be like, so that we can be able to understand and explore that. Because, I mean, if there are mercenaries or people who are targeting people of a certain tribe or each other, these children are still at risk and they are vulnerable. Because at that particular time, they know that, well, all eyes will be headed, or everybody will be headed this way. So when we do get Mr. John Kapi on the phone, we will explore that as well. I want us to look at the Accra Tourist Information Center, unfortunately.
But I think you see now in Boku, we have presence of the military there.
Yes.
That alone is enough to make other criminals understand that the president and his team are not in a joking mood anymore. We cannot allow people to disrupt the whole of the country. And that should serve to them that wherever you are and you are misbehaving, they will come hunting for you. I think that's a good message that we have to send to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before we go, in addition to, he talk about the adolescent period. It's really a storm and stress period. Those who are going to the examination now, if they are not able to make it and pass and go to wherever they want to pursue further education, they are likely to blame the environment, the adult population, that they were the cause of their failure. So what do? They will plan a revenge in any form at all. Some may deny that environment forever and forever. They will leave that environment and they will not want anybody to mention that is where I come from, because that is the environment responsible for my failure and my inability to make it in life. So these things, they are silent, but they speak loudly afterwards. So please, let there be peace. Okay.
Peace. Okay, unfortunately, yesterday, the Accra Tourist Information Center gutted fire the wee hours of the weekend, or the morning of Monday, I believe. And the Ghana National Fire Service issued a report that around 1-2 a.m., they got the report, and the fire service headquarters arrived on the scene just 2 minutes later. That's 1:04, only to find a fully developed fire that was spreading rapidly, aided by strong winds. 5 additional fire appliances from the Flagstaff House, Circle, Accra City Ministries, fire stations, and a rapid intervention vehicle from headquarters were quickly mobilized to support the firefighting operation. Still, the blaze was on until they brought it under control by 3:32 a.m. That's close to 2 hours. But efforts to fully extinguish it and prevent further spread to neighboring buildings continued until 6:35 a.m. So from 1 a.m. when the fire started, traveled all the way to 6:35 when they were trying to quell it and prevent it from hitting other buildings. The entire first floor and its contents were completely consumed by the fire. However, the ground floor and about 8 offices, including the East Wing section, were successfully salvaged. The GNFS added that no injuries or fatalities were recorded during the incident, and that the investigation has since been launched to determine the cause of the fire. Let's go to the phone and speak to the Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi. She is Minister of Tourism Arts. Hello, Honorable. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello, Honorable Jifa Gomashi. Do we have you on the phone? Okay.
I'm still here.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, the tourism center gutted fire. Lots have been lost. What's the damage looking like?
Good morning to you and to your listeners and viewers. I'm not able to put a figure to the damage. The reports that I received from the fire service is not complete, so it's difficult to speak directly to the question. But I admit that the devastation and the destruction that happened because of the fire is huge. Apart from the National Film Authority and Reggie Rockstone's place, there are other offices that had been rented from the agency. And so I think the only part that is pretty safe now will be the conference room. Otherwise, everything else has been affected.
Unfortunately, this is a time where you've put together strategies to mobilize domestic tourism. Accra by night, we see the buses there. You know, the tourists who come in, they come to the center there for information of how to explore the length and breadth of the country, and this is happening.
I assure you that there's even a lot more that we have planned to do with a 24-hour economy policy, to show movies there at night, to have dance performances there. And for this to happen is really taking a lot out of my guts. The memories that we've made there, you know, tourism is about heritage, it's about experiences, it's about creating memories, and we've created a lot of memories there. But the good thing is that we can restore what we have lost. In the interim, I've asked that one of our other agencies, the Bureau of Ghana Languages, that there's a facility there, we move them in there for temporarily, so we are able to restore the property. It's really devastating. You know, even apart from the things that you mentioned, and I'm grateful that you mentioned them, that's the same place where we launched Panafest that we just finished celebrating.
Right.
And it serves as one of the places where we have meetings, knowing the state of the National Theatre. That comes in very handy for smaller meetings so that we don't use so much electricity and from air conditioning and so on. And so for it to be raised down like this by fire, really is traumatizing.
There are other avenues that foreigners or tourists, when they come into Ghana, go through, you know, to explore our culture, like the cultural centers that are dotted across the country. Some are said to be in bad shape. Are there plans to revamp these cultural centers for national culture as well, where it's like a repository of our culture, artifacts are sold and all of that?
Yes, it's not that started under President Dsane, President Mills, are still uncompleted. Across the 10 regions that we had before, buildings, theaters are at different stages of completion, and it is my hope that as I go along to work with the regional ministers and the MDCEs, I've been encouraging them to assist us to what they have in their specific communities. Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has decided that 80% of the fund be given to the Assembly. So they are partners, they are development partners. So as you can see in my regional tour, the regional ministers kindly arranged for me to meet the MDCs, and I've been sharing my thoughts with the local. In good time, it's the Eastman. Good time, I'm sure that we'll be able to see some progress in the way that we're doing. But the creative sector as a whole, and the theatre specifically, if I mention film too, all of them need some revamping. And I'm comforted and hopeful that I have a president who understands this and helps us to launch his own agenda and policy, the Black Star Experience, which is to harness all of us in the creative sector to lift high the flag of Ghana and also the Africans in the diaspora to have the experience that identifies us as a people. So we're in a good place, and I'm sure that we'll be able to make some headway.
Okay. Conclusion, before we let you go, where can tourists go to now for assistance, for information, since they don't have the center?
As I indicated to you, we are going to move our offices to where the Bureau of Ghana Languages is.
Okay.
Alternatively to, in fact, we have 13 agencies under the ministry, so we are going to have to decentralize and also make our social media and website very active for information to flow easily.
Right.
So it shouldn't be a challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Honorable, and speaking to us.
Thank you for the interest and thank you for bringing it to the fore.
Absolutely. Honorable Jifa Ablagomashi is the Minister of Tourism, Creative Arts, and she's been speaking to us about the unfortunate incident where the Accra Tourist Center was gutted by fire damages. She says she still cannot tell us at this time because the report is still being formulated, but the Panafest was launched there recently. The Black Star Experience is, being worked on in earnest, and the Accra by Night tour also there, but contingency is moving to the Bureau of Ghana Languages, where expats, foreigners can go and get information. And digitally, Bruce, the digital era comes to save at the end of the day too.
Yeah. Well, these fire things, I think the president, about a month ago, made a promise to the Ghana Fire Service that their fire tenders are too old and cannot run fast. So they are not able to reach out to fire centers to extinguish fires. And he promised to buy them a new, robust, fast-moving fire tenders so that they can fight fire. It's good. So I want to reiterate my call that, look, the force of gravity is real. We are engaging in high-rise apartments. The fire that gutted the tourist center, if we were to have a firefighting helicopter, within 5 minutes' time, that thing is going.
Absolutely.
And the distraction will not have been massive as it is. So I am still calling for a firefighting helicopter for the Ghana Fire Service. There are some people, they are unreachable. Just this Sunday, Red Coat Flash, there were fire over there. They have to pull fire service from Abeka and all those places before they were able to fight fire. We cannot allow people to be losing their properties as a result of fire outbreaks. However, there could be some miscreants behind all these things. There is something in psychology you call impulse control disorder, and one of them is pyromania. Pyromania. People who are suffering from this, they take delight in setting fire to properties, and just to sit down and see how people will be moving up and down to quench the fire. We could have people like that. So let's watch out. Let's watch out. However, the minister, she's actually under pressure. In her constituency, she's fighting the devastating effects of the sea waves eroding the people and destroying their property.
Yeah.
And now, Minister of Tourism, your where you get the source of your information is also pent down.
Right.
However, she's doing well. She went for a site surveying for a modern market to be built at Aklau, her constituency, by the Chinese. So she must press on that, and then it could become a tourist center.
Absolutely.
That will earn a lot of money for the ministry. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we should move away, as your question is saying, from operating from concrete and wall structures to go to digital. A small place, whatever information you need, you on TV like this, then you don't need the building so that there will be a fire anymore. So let's digitalize our information system, and then that's all. You can give the code of the link. Whoever wants any information, click on your phone, and that's all. Okay. So we can avoid all these things. Yeah.
Mr. Johnny.
Right.
A school in Oyo coverage also got burnt just this week. There's a fire in Medina as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was impressed with the rapid intervention of the fire service. I listened to one of their men, and he was looking at the timelines as to how they got there, and I thought that was quite clever. And apparently the hydrants that flows from the Flagstaff House towards the 37th Hospital was still all very active, and so they were able to do a yeoman's job.
Right.
We congratulate them. So for us, it's not arson, and it's electrical fault or some gas explosion. We'll look at that. They should look at that and see how next time round, or eventually, these things. I understand there was a kitchen somewhere within the system. Look at how you partition fire from mainstream areas of things that are quite precious to us.
Right.
I would like to congratulate her again, but I think she's quite a decent, a very active and proactive minister. I noticed that when the diasporans come here, their focus sometimes lies on chieftaincy affairs. They love the pageantry. They love the whole, what we call, for them it's equivalent to their European kings and queens, which they find very interesting. And I think she must make efforts to bring sanity to the chieftaincy, try and advise them to stop the quarreling.
Yeah.
Stop the quarreling and let life go on, and let all live together. Well, there's too much quarreling within the chieftaincy affairs, and that disturbs all of us. They last longer than the ministers and the presidents. And so if you are there for 30 years, and there's quarreling going for 30 years, it's a total headache. It's stress for the whole community. We feel very stressed up when our chiefs are in turmoil. So they must find a way to solve these problems.
Absolutely. I think, and I also asked, because you mentioned, Mr. Jani, that they love, the pageantry, our cultural artifacts, some of the cultural centers across the country, especially the one in Tamale, in a very dilapidated state. Since Dr. Nkrumah built it, is there, it's falling off and all of that. But that's where all of the smoke, our, wooden carved artifacts, all of these things are sold, and beads and all of that. And the foreigners love going to these places because the cultural troops are also there performing and all of that. So she did mention that they'll be looking at researching
Africa is trending.
All of that.
We must take all the opportunities and grab it for ourselves.
Okay.
If you don't take it, I don't know when we're going to take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. It's unfortunate. We're trying to get on phone somebody from the Ghana National Fire Service, the PRO, preferably, so that we can speak about the fire incidents. We normally hear of the market fires, which have become so common or ubiquitous, which shouldn't be the case. And now we're seeing essential institutions like this also catching fire in schools as well. When we do get him, we will explore that conversation. But yesterday, the Minister of Youth took his turn at the Accountability Series, George Opariado, and he made some revelations, questions posed to him by journalists from across board about the Adwumawura program, the National Apprenticeship Scheme. And he said that over 115,000 youth have applied for the National Apprenticeship Program. And also Ghana government has put aside 110 million Ghana cedis, I beg your pardon, for the Adwumawura program. He said that August 4, yesterday, at the Accountability Series, he said the government is committed to youth empowerment through job creation and entrepreneurship, and the Adwumawura program is designed to support 10,000 young people. Let's listen to the minister.
Empowering Ghanaian youth, an amount of 110 million has been allocated by the Ministry of Finance this year under the directive of His Excellency the President for the nationwide operationalization of the Adwumawura program. This financial backing sends a strong signal that we are not merely announcing intentions, we are resetting the country and investing in the future of young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to report that the program received over 8,000 applications in the first week alone. To date, we have received more than 120,000 applications through both the online and manual submission channels, all of which are under review. We recognize that the future of this country depends on the empowerment, education, and inclusion of our youth in national development.
Also, the minister speaking about national service personnel with relevant skills in security and disaster preparedness and public safety, how they'll be introduced into the military for Emergency Response Readiness Program, NSERRP, for a 6-week basic military orientation.
Foster patriotism and enhance the physical development of our young graduates. His Excellency, the President has directed the National Service Authority to implement a 6-week basic military orientation program. This initiative is in accordance with the National Service Act, Act 1119, and aligns with the strategic objectives outlined in the National Service Policy. The National Service Authority will collaborate with the Ghana Armed Forces to carry out this program. This orientation is designed to cover 100,000 national service personnel starting this service year. This remarkable initiative will start on the 31st of August 2025 in 2 cohorts of 10,000 and upscale to 100,000 in subsequent years. This policy is not about militarization of service personnel, far from it. It is about leadership, resilience, and civic responsibility. The training, we believe, will instill discipline, national pride, and preparedness among our young people, many of whom will become future public and private sector leaders.
The Honourable Minister for Youth Development, George Opariado, there. Before I pick my guest thoughts, Professor Bruce and Mr. Dsane, we are joined by the PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service on phone, DO2, Desmond Aka. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Okay, my guests have, commended you for the time frame which the service got to the Accra Tourist Center when you were called at around 1 a.m. in the morning. What was the situation like, and did you have everything that you needed to quell the fire? Because it looks like the fire went on for close to 5 hours.
Well, let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. Yesterday, let me commend our firefighters for responding swiftly. In fact, we had a fire call around 1:02 hours, and within 2 minutes, we were there. And unfortunately, we met the fire at its fully developed stage. What it means is that it was spreading. It has already gained momentum. And we were surprised that if a fire should have started around 1, and within 2 minutes or so, we were there. How come the fire could spread so rapidly like that? But of course, the wind also played a major part in the rapid spread of the fire. And that is how come the entire top floor, plus some structures beneath the structure, also were gutted by the fire. But be as it may, we were able to salvage the ground floor and some other 8 officers from the fire ruins, which tells you how efficient we were. Despite the challenge of dysfunctional or ineffective fire hydrants within that particular enclave, we were able to marshal as many as 6 fire engines because the fire hydrants around the area were not flowing with desired pressure. We had to bring our own water to the scene, and that actually helped us to contain the situation. But because the fire had already escalated, that is how come we spent a bit of time to finally bring the situation under full containment around 6:35 in the morning.
Right.
Fortunately, no life was lost. So,
DO2, not to catch you, but I just want us to backtrack a bit. The fire hydrants were not working properly. There was no pressure. Why is that the case?
Yes, so I think this question should be directed to the Ghana Water Company because they are responsible for pumping water throughout our main, the pipe, the water mains. And, it's the water, the same water that we use for our domestic water that we use for firefighting. So if your taps are not flowing, technically it means that when we come to your area to fight any fire, we will not have access to water for firefighting. And in firefighting, continuous supply or continuous stream of water is very important for effective and efficient firefighting. So anytime we go to a place where they are rationing water in that particular area, it means that we may not have access to water from flowing through our hydrant. And that is exactly what happens.
And in that case, is it not possible to have water flowing through the hydrants at all times, whether water is being rationed in a particular area or not?
No. Ghana Water has informed us that they are not able to pump water for all communities within, especially within Greater Accra. So at any point in time, you have communities having water and others not having water. So when we go to any such community without having water, or if there is any rationing program there for that particular period, technically we are not going to have access to hydrants or water from the hydrant. That is why for a particular fire that could ordinarily be managed with just a fire engine, one fire engine. If the fire hydrant is effective and functional, we are able to marshal more than necessary fire tenders, like just as we did by mobilizing 6 fire appliances to the scene. It's all because we didn't want to run out of water. We didn't want the situation to escalate. And that is why we're able to marshal 6 fire tenders from the Flagstaff House, from ministries, from Accra City, from Circle, just to be able to deal with the fire at the Accra Tourism Information Center.
And isn't that worrying, DO2, not to catch you, but isn't that worrying that if there's a fire at the other places that you marshaled all your tenders from, then what happens?
Yes, so it means that we would have to deploy other fire engines which are closer to such places. So that is why we all need to advocate for the illegal water mining in our freshwater bodies to stop. Because according to Ghana Water Company, it is denying them the opportunity to have the needed volumes, and it is costing them more to even treat the turbid waters, the polluted waters. And that is a source of worry, and it should be everybody's concern. So if we will not ask the relevant agencies the right questions, and most often than not, you would want to demand all the answers from us. I mean, we may be the wrong people to be asked those questions. That is why I earlier on indicated that some of these questions should be directed at Ghana Water. Why is it that always Ghana Fire Service is complaining that they are not getting water in the hydrants, especially in Greater Accra?
In your conversations with Ghana Water Company, because it's interagencies, do you get the sense that something can be done, or it's impossible, is what Ghana Water Company is saying about your hydrants always having supply of water?
You see, what we have done as a service is to build mechanized boreholes in some of our stations. It is not all our stations that have these mechanized boreholes with overhead storage tanks with enough water. So at any point in time, we move to fire scenes with the carrying capacity of our tenders with adequate water. It's just that, depending on the stage of fire development, if the fire has gotten out of hand and it is spreading rapidly, technically, we may also want to contain the fire within no time and check it from further spread. And that is how come we are able to engage our pump high to the extent that we are able to exhaust our water within 3-5 minutes. And when it happens like that, it means we have to go and look for water. And by which time the fire also will not be waiting for us. That is how come in our current modus operandi, we go with as many fire tenders as much as possible, just to have constant flow of water for some time, be able to confine and then kind of control or bring the situation under control before we go in looking for water. So, one, we need to be supplied or be provided with a lot more water tankers. More mechanized borehole with overhead storage tanks would have to be provided for the Ghana National Fire and be optimal in their production, so that the illegal water mining in the water bodies that is polluting our water bodies, the state should be able to clamp down on that, so that at the end of the day, we would have water flowing through our hydrants. More hydrants will be built in all our communities, because there are communities even without fire hydrants. So when we go to fight fires in such communities, we struggle a bit to be able to contain fires within no time. So I think that this is just the beginning of the conversation. I think you can also bring in the experts in the water field, so that they will be able to throw more light on this.
Okay. Thank you so much for all the insights that you have given us and the clarion calls that you have made. DO2, Desmond Aka, SPRO, Ghana National Fire Service. And he's been speaking about the Aquatory Center that was gutted by fire, some other fires that have happened in the capital just in the last 2 days alone. Prof. Bruce, you had the PRO, water issues in the hydrants.
So the way it is now, we have to follow this cliche: prevention is better than cure. If we know that most of these fires are caused by human errors, the human beings, we have to be very vigilant. Know that if I switch on and I finish, I have to switch off. When I'm going home, I have to check and make sure that nothing is on, because we use plastic for all those things. When they become heated, the next thing is to melt and there's fire. So let us all become vigilant and have mercy upon the institutions we are working for, because if it is raised down, government will have to raise money to rebuild those places. And what is the massive destruction that we have seen? It will take millions of Ghana cedis to repair that place. So if it is human error, let us all become vigilant and make sure that the way you prevent your house from catching fire, you must do the same thing at your workplace and your offices. Don't let, if the fire it will come to a point that will be friction and heat will be generated and it's passed into fire. So let's be very careful, because as for water, the way things are going, very soon we may be importing water. The people, they just don't care. Their motive is gold, no matter how they mine it and what happens. So if water is not in our hydrants, your property will burn into ashes. There's nothing the fire service or firefighters can do. So let us not punish ourselves if we know how to do the correct thing.
Okay, Mr. Dsane, if you touch on the fire, and then I can bring in the Adwumawura as well, or you'd want to go ahead with the Adwumawura?
I'm sure the report, there'll be a report that will be written by the fire service. It's against that will try and make the best out of it and look at areas that needs improvement, and then if it's money, it's training, whatever it is, then you get on to that.
Okay. The Adwumawura, 115,000 youth who have applied for the National Apprenticeship Program, and the Ministry of Youth Development looking at it. And also, the ministry has launched this drug abuse campaign on the Red, Unim Red. Yes, and so they're launching a youth festival month. There's the entire month of August to combat drug abuse among the youth, because they believe that what's the essence of giving them skills when at the end of the day they are deep in drugs.
Right. I think we've mentioned that earlier on in the program, and apart from the education, you want to ensure that there are rehab centers, a day hospital, that's a clinic that you go in and come out. It will not be too expensive to run. You have the infrastructure. You have perhaps a psychiatrist, a couple of psychiatric nurses, psychologists, and perhaps a community health worker who can do follow-ups. So, if you can do that and understand that alcoholism and drug abuse is part of the problems of the adolescent or the youth in every part of the world, you get the structures ready for it. And so that when it happens, and if it will happen, you have interventions and how to support them. The days of going to school in Ghana, go to university and getting a job, those days are over. You have to get skills that allows you to be global. So a university like the one at Abraka, what do you call it, that technical university, is for hands-on work, where you can go to Europe and work.
Okay.
IT, in the areas of IT, electrician, whatever. But as for Ghana, it's not only Ghana, but the days of working in Ghana, those days are over. You almost invariably will have to go and work outside. We are very lucky in a way that the youthful people in the world now are in the sub-Saharan area, and we are more likely to be servicing the workplaces in Europe. Whether they like it or not, that's what is going to happen. What you hear are just political rhetorics. But we will have to help their working environments from now on going for the next few years. So we have to be ready and tap onto those areas and benefit from that.
Absolutely. And since, you've been championing the After, I sat with the Morocco ambassador yesterday, and she talked about how expensive it is to move to African countries as compared to go to Europe. And even move trade around as well. Because of security and insurgency, moving the goods by land, it's costing because of security. So there's a lot that we have to do.
I can't understand why we
rely
can't
on each other.
Say a railway line from, say, Ivory Coast to, say, Togo, which can run on a daily basis. Say a 700-mile track. So if you take London to, say, Scotland, and you can go and come back. Why can't we do it? What's the problem?
Well, there'll be the need for heavy security because of the terrorists.
Accra Kumasi Road. We struggle and talk about it every day.
The expressway.
Why don't you get a railway line up and down? Get the Chinese in.
Absolutely.
They do fantastic things. Get the Chinese on board. If the Europeans don't come, get the Chinese.
Get the Chinese on board, Mr. Dsane. Prof. Bruce, the National Service personnel to be undergoing a 6-week military basic orientation training program. That's what the youth minister is saying.
It's good. Just that, as he's saying, we are not going to militarize them. Some of them may want to misapply it. That now that I've gotten military training, they go to their villages and begin to misbehave. They must be very careful.
Okay.
Yes, they should give them the basis. That will make them become very active. A lot of our youth now, they are spending most of their energies on it.
And the psychological strength, be headstrong.
And then it will train them to have good reaction time. See, when you are moving in the street, you know that there's danger around you.
Absolutely.
The way you move determines the level of your intelligence.
Right.
But if you are moving sluggishly in the presence of danger,
as if the street belongs to you. Rather than
there's something wrong with your intelligence. So military will take away all those things from you and make you become sharp.
Very disciplined and sharp. Let's go to the phone, and we've got now Mr. John Kapi, who is a PRO of WAEC. We'll just wrap up on that. So, hello, sir. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good for having me.
Thank you for your time. We want to understand the students who are in conflict-prone areas like Boko and Alergu. You do say that you have designated areas for them to partake in the WASI. How's the security plan looking like of them even moving to the centers?
Well, we have had a conversation with the Ghana Education Service. We've also been in touch with the local authorities. They've given us assurances that the areas mapped up for the examinations are, very well taken care of, and so the examinations can go on in an atmosphere that will not adversely affect any of the candidates.
Right. The students that are, there's a 0.2% increment of the students who partook in the WASI from last year. What does that mean for WAEC?
Well, the figures keep, fluctuating. You don't have specific figures each year. But then all that happens is that once we have these entries, we adjust our systems as well as our personnel so as to be able to take care of an increase or a decrease in numbers. So we are ready to handle any number that are registered for the examination.
Okay. What are the progressive, mechanisms that WAEC has put in place now as compared to, years ago when students used to go to take the exams?
Well, we are leveraging more on technology now to handle a lot of the operations of the council. And so it makes it a little less cumbersome in managing a lot of the activities. Besides, we have, devised the means of deploying more monitors to our areas of operations so as to be able to ensure that sanity prevails at all the examination centers. Okay,
and malpractice as well. How is WAEC dealing with malpractice this time around?
Well, we have the security agencies assisting very well. Cases are being prosecuted. We've had talks with supervisors. We've had talks also with the candidates. preparing them and making them understand. We are also, we have engaged a few media houses. We are going to do some more, just so that the general public gets to know that examination malpractice is a menace, and it's a call for all of us to fight it, so as to be able to develop young men and women who can take over from us when we are off the scene.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. John Kapi, and for those insights. Mr. John Kapi is PRO of the West African Examination Center, WAEC, and he's telling us that security, they've been in talks, WAEC has been in talks with Ghana Education Service and Security, map out the areas that the students in conflict-prone areas like Boko will be taking the exams, and he's talked about using technology, progressive ways of getting information to the students and their schools, malpractice as well, and how they'll be dealing with it. We have to wrap up. Gentlemen, if you have any concluding remarks just before.
Yes, my concluding remarks is about the behavior of custom officers and immigration officers at the Ghana-Togo border in Aplau. If you are going to Togo now and you dress very nicely, you'll be subjected to a lot of checks.
Dressing nicely?
Dressing nicely.
How about if you dress
If you dress heavily, they will allow you to go.
Wow.
So why? If you get to the Togo border too, the same thing. They take money from you. Do you have yellow card? Do you have this? They frustrate you, and finally you give them 20 Ghana and say, you go. You see, so when you like this, when I dress nicely, they will bring you to, they will search you. Before you realize, people who dress shabbily, they are into business. They'll just be bypassing you. I don't know where they develop that perception from. So please, they must stop it. It's worrying us.
So all roads lead to the Legon Sports Center, what we call at East Legon. The Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Deborah, will be there.
Absolutely.
It'll be a fantastic day out. You're all welcome. Come and enjoy and have a good time.
Have a good time. I'm sure also the immigration officials, the leaders, ACI Sharif Kakare of Immigration, Mr. Alex Adina, have listened to your plea, Professor Bruce, on the immigration officers at the borders. And Mr. Dsane, people will join you, I'm sure, to mark the sporting events at the Legon Sports Center. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. On the headlines, Mr. John Kuuku Dsane is a forensic psychiatrist specialist. Professor Daniel Bruce is our clinical psychologist. And if you listen intently, you hear all the psychological terms he drops on the show. I am Maltiti Sadik. Birthdays with Jay is up next. We also have a conversation you do not want to miss with Thelma, looking at cocoa prices, reimagining the higher prices and bold reforms.